Hi guys, I'm Michael and welcome to another episode of Chow with Lau, and today we are doing salt and pepper chicken. Right guys, today we are doing another family favourite, salt and pepper chicken, and for this recipe you are going to need some chicken, some sesame oil, light soy sauce, some corn flour, salt, pepper, an egg, some chilies, some chopped garlic, and a little bit of sugar. Okay, now this is going to be a really cool recipe. I've got a little trick up my sleeve which will give you an extra crunchy batter. So without any further ado, get your woks ready. First thing we're going to do is to prepare the chicken, and to start with we're going to do the marinade. So we're going to use a teaspoon of sesame oil, and a couple of teaspoons of light soy sauce, and a little bit of sugar. We've got about a teaspoon of sugar here. I'm not at this stage going to add any salt and pepper to season because A, the soy sauce is going to give you the saltiness you need, and B, there's going to be quite a lot of salt and pepper in the actual crispy coating, so we don't need to overdo it, otherwise our dish is going to be too salty. Okay, and finally we're going to put the beaten egg in. Okay, and this will help bring the crispy coating together. So we're going to just massage that into the chicken and get it all coated. And you can leave this aside for half an hour to let the flavours infuse. And then we'll be ready for the next stage. So the next step is to prepare our crispy coating. I don't like calling it a batter because it's more of a coating. It shouldn't be heavy or thick. It should be nice and light and crispy and crunchy. Okay, and we've got a special little trick that will help you achieve that crunchiness. So first of all, we're going to season the corn flour. You can also use potato starch, and also sweet potato starch if you can get it. Is also very good, but corn flour is what I normally use, and it's quite easy to get from the supermarkets. So it's kind of just seasoning that. Obviously salt and pepper in the name means there's salt and pepper in the flavour, so we're going to have plenty of that. We're going to add some more when we come to the finishing touches of this dish as well. So it's quite a, if you've ever had it before, it is quite a salty dish. Okay, so the next bit is our little sort of pro tip. I got this from a chef friend of mine and it really works, so have a go. You get a spray bottle. Make sure you've not put any fertilizers or anything for watering your houseplants. This is a new one. And you know, because you don't really want any weird chemicals in your food. So what you do, you get your mister and you spray a few squirts into your flour, and then you give it a bit of a stir. And what we're doing is we're starting to clump it together, so you get kind of little rocks forming, if you like that. And what happens when you deep fry it, these clumps turn into crispier bits. So little rocks of crunchiness. It's a little bit like popcorn chicken, I suppose. So we're going to do this 3 times. So this second time, give it another little mist like that. And do it again. Because if the flour is ultra smooth, you don't quite get that. You'll get a crispness, of course, but it will be more of a kind of smooth batter. We want some crunchy crispiness, like biting into little crispy rocks, if that is such a thing. It's amazing what happens when you don't script these things. You come out with some real pearlers. Right, so the third time, the last time, we're going to do it again. And that should have it kind of throughout the batter, throughout the flour now. So So when we come to fry it, we'll reap the rewards. You can see it's kind of starting to stick to the bowl. But that's the result of what we want. Okay, so yeah, let's see what happens. So now we're going to add the chicken to the corn flour. So we're just going to pop it in. There's about 250 grams of corn flour here, and I've done 2 chicken breasts chopped up into little sort of slices. And what I've tried to do is keep the chicken pieces roughly the same size as much as I can, so it'll cook all evenly when we're frying it. And around 250 grams of corn flour. So what we're going to do is massage that in. As per usual doing these recipes, we've put more flour than you probably think you need, because otherwise the chicken or the meat you're using, whatever the recipe is going to stick together. So as we massage it, as we rub it in, the flour should get in between the individual pieces of chicken, and it'll separate out again, which is exactly what we want. Okay, so it's coming out nicely. We've got individual pieces of chicken, and the flour has absorbed the moisture, so it's all kind of quite dry now. We're about to deep fry the chicken now. I've got my saucepan here, or if you're using a wok or any other thing, a third full of cooking oil. No more than that for safety reasons, I believe. You can use, I get asked this quite a lot. Cooking oil can be vegetable oil, rapeseed oil, peanut oil. Just don't do it with olive oil or sesame oil, because they just don't cope with these high temperatures. We're looking for something that will make this crispy. It's quite a high temperature, about 180 degrees. And the way we test it is we use the old wooden chopstick test. When we put it in, it should start to fizz, which it is doing nicely. And when it starts doing that, we know we're about the right temperature. Okay, so here we go. I'll pop the individual strips in. With this recipe, we are going to double fry, because that'll give us an even crispier coating without risking burning the chicken inside. Because obviously we want the chicken cooked, but we don't want it burnt. And if you have a really high oil temperature and you try to cook it all in one go, you risk burning it and still having it raw in the middle, and we don't want that. Okay. So what we're going to do is fry this lot off until it's just coming up to golden, still a pale sort of golden, and then we'll fish it out. And we can just set it aside for, say, 20 minutes whilst we prepare the rest of the ingredients. And then we'll fry it again to give it that crispy coating before we finish it off with the chilli and garlic. So yeah, we're just coming up to a pale golden. So I'm going to fish them out now. I'm going to turn the heat off. You can see already the little nuggets of crispiness coming through. And that's really nice. The chicken inside will not be cooked, so don't be tempted to pick at it now. There's plenty of time for that later. Okay, there you go. First stage done. Right guys, so the finishing bit to this recipe is kind of just gently or quickly stir frying our crispy chicken in some chili and garlic and some more salt and pepper. So to do this, I've already chopped 2 cloves of garlic, and I'm about to chop up 2 birdseye chilies. Again, with chilies, it's your preference how hot you want to go, so you can choose the kind of chili that you want to put in it and how many you want to put in it. Birdseye chilies are pretty potent, so For example, if you just want it kind of medium or a bit milder, I'd stick to 1, or you could go for something a little less fiery. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to leave the seeds in because I don't mind a bit of heat in this. I'm not the one who can take massive heat, but this dish deserves a little bit. And because it's kind of not in a sauce, if you want to avoid the chili, then you don't go and try to eat the chilies in the dish. You can kind of leave them aside. The chili, the hotness will go through the oil and will spread through the actual coating of the chicken, but not as much as if you actually grab some actual chilies and eat them, because that can, be quite hot. Right, so we're ready. This is fizzing away nicely, so we're going to put our chicken, we're going to reintroduce the chicken to the oil, carefully, again, be very careful. Okay, so it's bubbling away nicely. This recipe you can do with quite a lot of different meats. Squid is your classic. I'm going to do a video with that later on, but squid, salt and pepper squid is lovely. You can use beef, you can use slices of beef again. Pork if you like, king prawns. The king prawns is really, really good. So lots of variation you can do. So the chicken's been in for about another 3 or 4 minutes now. So we're about done. It's going that nice light golden crispy brown. So we can rescue it from the oil. Now you can see and hear how crunchy and crisp it's become, which is exactly what we want. Okay. Cool. Look at that. Yeah, we don't want to overcook the chicken, but of course we don't want it raw in the middle, but that looks perfect. And guys, we are nearly there. We're on the home stretch now. So I've got my wok out. I've got about a tablespoon of oil, cooking oil in here, and I'm going to add my onions. Get the heat on. And I'm also going to add my garlic and chilies. Now we're going to cook this off and let that all infuse into the oil. Okay. Wow, when chili hits hot oil, that's amazing. It really kicks you back. But the garlic blends with it so nice. And the onions just add a little bit of kind of crunch, sort of the vegetable crunch to the dish, if you like. There's plenty of crunch in this dish, but it adds that kind of, I don't know, it just kind of balances out the dryness of the crisp coating very nicely, I think. If you didn't have the onions in it, it would make a difference. Okay, ooh, that's nice. So we're now going to add the chicken, the crispy chicken, and I'm going to toss this gently, and so all the flavours from the chili and the garlic gets infused in the oil, starts to work into the crispy coating. Wow, I wish you could smell this, guys. This is, wow, amazing. I'm finding it hard not to drool. Cool, and to finish off, copious amounts of salt and pepper. As the title implies, it's a salty dish. Not overly salty. You don't want it so it's only the salt you can taste, because that would defeat the object, I believe. I'm going to put a little bit more on, having said that. I'm using sea salt, which isn't as salty as the table salt or cooking salt. So you probably need a little bit more of that. Okay, and that's it. Right, we're going to plate up, we're going to dish up, and pop it in this splendid little bowl. Look at that, guys. Salt and pepper chicken. Get your taste buds ready. Do you really think I was going to let you go without me testing this for you? I mean, it's part of the service, so I've got to do it. Can you hear this? You know, guys, I know I cooked it, but this is flipping amazing. I defy anybody to not like this, love this. Excuse me. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed what you saw. I'm going to be doing loads more recipes and tutorials in the future, so if you like what you see, please hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.